French wine labels can be quite confusing, really difficult to understand, but also to pronounce. This is why I decided to do this video, to make your life a little bit easier. By the way, I'm Tomas, your wine tuber, so let's get started. Before we start, many thanks to the Corkscrew Wine and Spirit merchants in Dublin for helping me with this video. And if you're watching my channel for the first time, please consider to subscribe. Each bottle of French wine contains three very important information on the label. The first one is, of course, the name of the producer. The second one is the name of the appellation or region. Usually it's the name of the village or town when the wine was made. And finally, the vintage, which is the year of the harvest. It's probably one of the most important information, especially when it comes to the fine French wines. Now let's move on to the 14 most important French wine terms that you need to know. Our first term is appellation, which is a legally defined geographic area when the grapes are grown. Each appellation has different rules and regulations regarding permitted grape varieties, but also how the wine is made. For example, wines labeled as Pouilly Fumé can be only produced in the Loire Valley, and the only grape variety permitted in this appellation is Sauvignon Blanc. Blanc de Noir basically means white from the black, and in most cases is regarding to sparkling wines, including champagne. Blanc de Noir wines are white in color, however produced from the red grapes. By the way, Blanc de Noir is my favorite type of champagne. Brut in French literally means raw, and this is another term regarding sparkling wines. Wines labeled as brut can contain up to 12 grams of sugar per liter. However, the vast majority of champagnes contains between 6 to 8 grams. By the way, if you prefer drier style of champagne or any sparkling wines, I highly recommend to try Extra Brut. Blanc de Blanc is another French wine term regarding sparkling wines and champagnes and can be translated as a white from the whites. Wines labeled as Blanc de Blanc are always white and produced only from the white grapes. One of the biggest misconceptions of the Blanc de Blanc champagne and other sparkling wines is the fact that people think that the Blanc de Blanc is always 100% Chardonnay. In fact, in the Champagne area there are 4 more white grapes permitted, and all of them can be used to produce Blanc de Blanc champagne. French wine labeled as Côte are usually comes from the hilly areas or plots located on slopes. Great examples are Côte de Rôti appellation located in Côte d'Iron or Côte de Bourg from the Bordeaux region. Crémant is a sparkling wine produced by the Champagne method, however outside of the Champagne area. Crémant can be made in 8 different French wine regions including Bordeaux, Alsace, Burgundy, Loire and so on. By the way, if you'd like to learn more about the differences in between Champagne and Crémant, click the link above or one in the description below. The term cru translates as growth and it refers to the specific site, vineyard or the estate. For example, Grand Cru in Burgundy refers to the specific site and sometimes to very small plot and is the highest classification of this region. On the other hand, Premier Grand Cru Classe in Saint-Emilion refers to the specific estate and again is the highest classification of this part of the Bordeaux region. I highly recommend to check out my 2 previous videos regarding term Grand Cru. One of them is about the classification of Saint-Emilion and the other what exactly means Grand Cru on the French labels. Both links to both videos can be found in the description below. term Clos usually refers to the single vineyard or specific plot. Wines labeled as Clos are in most cases high in quality and comes from the vineyard surrounded by the wall. Great examples are Clos de Ambonnet, which is a single vineyard champagne produced by Krug, or Clos de Vougeot, which is the largest Grand Cru vineyard in Côte de Nuits, Burgundy. Chateau in French literally means castle, but for the French wine labels it refers to the place where the wine was made. Chateau is most commonly used by the wineries in the Bordeaux region. On the other hand, in Burgundy the term domaine is used to describe a winery estate with the vineyards. Our next term, which is Cuvée, is strongly associated with sparkling wines such as Cremant, but the most important with the Champagne region. When it comes to the Champagne, this term usually refers to the first press, best juice that is then used to produce fine bubbles. However, term Cuvée can be also used to describe wines that are blend of different grapes, blend of different plots, or even blend of different vintages. Lastly, term Cuvée can also indicate a prestigious wine, such as Krug Grand Cuvée, which is a blend of different grapes, blend or different plots, and also blend of several vintages. One of the most important wine terms that can be found on the Bordeaux wine label is a Millon, Bouteille, or Chateau, which indicates that this wine was bottled and produced at the estate. Fun fact, did you know that the concept of Millon, Bouteille or Chateau was introduced in 1924 by the owner of the Mouton Rothschild? Term surly is regarding the aging the wines on the lees. Surly style wines are kept in contact with the dead yeast cells in order to increase the complexity and creaminess of the wine. The best examples of surly wines are sparkling wines produced by traditional method, including Franciacorta, Corpinat, and of course, Champagne. When it comes to the still wines, the homeland of surly is definitely Burgundy. However, fantastic examples can be also found in the Muscadet area in the Loire Valley, when the wines are labeled as Muscadet Surly. Term superior can be found only on the wines produced in the Bordeaux and Beaujolais wine regions. Wines labeled as superior usually contains slightly higher amount of alcohol compared to their generic counterparts. But also, the maximum yield per hectare is 10% lower for the superior wines. Vieilles vignes basically means old vines, but surprisingly this term is not legally regulated in France. However, in most cases wines labeled as vieilles vignes are produced from at least 30 plus old vines. Fun fact, did you know that the old vines are usually lower in quantity but higher in quality? I believe that this video was helpful for you and now you can easily understand the French wine terminology. I highly recommend to check out my earliest video about the German wine term, link can be found here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and see you next time!